A very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, we kick off the new year with an NFC North matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. The veteran kicker Mason Crosby set to do the honors here. And we are underway from downtown Minneapolis. And no run back on this one, so the new season will begin at the 25-yard line. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
And now a timeout coming from the defensive side for the remaining as we step aside here in this first quarter. They'll operate from the 32-yard line here, 2nd and 3. Throwing is Cousins. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Excellent defensive effort to get to him and provide a little contact before the catch could be made cleanly.
3rd play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3. Throwing, Cousins. He'll get this complete to Jalen Reagor. And he will have the Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
Well, this is an awfully tough route to defend in man coverage because he lines up on the right and then runs a crossing route back to the other side of the field. So as a defender, you're not only trailing him the whole way, you're also looking out for your own guys to make sure you don't get yourself picked off. And then you can't catch up in time to prevent the completion.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And he'll be taken down right around the 41-yard line. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1. But you often say that sort of opens the playbook now, 2nd and short. What do you think, early shot here?
I like where you're going. Obviously, we've been together for a while because you know me. I want to take that shot early and loosen things up.
On play action, Cousins. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Smith. And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
I know I spent a lot of time talking about how tight ends in a lot of cases now are pumped up wide receivers, but they're still big people. He used that frame right there to absorb a really big hit on him and held on to the ball.
And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down. The Vikings here hosting Green Bay in the season opener. And they've got one of those quirks in the schedule that is going to work in their favor. They play all 3 of their division home games in the first 5 weeks of the year. After Green Bay today, they'll host Detroit in week 3 and then Chicago in week 5. And he'll lose yardage here, back at the 41. It'll be a loss of 2, maybe 3 on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd down, Cousins. A battle for it, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Jair Alexander. Offensively, a far from ideal start there with a pick on the opening drive.
Yeah, not exactly what they were looking for. We know that. That's pretty obvious. The beauty, though, is it's happening early. If they don't panic, they don't compound this problem, they've got a long way to go and a chance to get back in it.
Rodgers will bring the pack up with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. Now the man from UTEP, this is Aaron Jones. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That's a good way to start the drive, 17 yards and a 1st down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's... It shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down. Otherwise, it's going to be a long afternoon.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. 6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. He's letting this one go for Fuller. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. Touchdown, Packers. Will Fuller, 57 yards. And the Packers are on the board here first in the season opener. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And it's now a 7-0 game. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Kene Nwagu now out of his end zone. And only able to get this to the 19, so probably should have opted for the touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
Well, the first play of the drive lost 4. Now they'll look to move it forward here on 2nd and 14. And that'll be incomplete. Took a pretty good shot as he tried to pull that one in. Couldn't hang on, 3rd down.
It's pretty early in the game, but they've already tried to establish him not just as a runner, but as a receiver as well. Didn't happen there, but I wouldn't be surprised at all to see them try again shortly.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. And now the Packers going to take another timeout. And that's their second charge timeout here in this first quarter. They're down to 1 remaining. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. A very warm day outside by Minnesota standards, but then again, it is still summer. Either way, the AC is working just fine at U.S. Bank Stadium in the Twin Cities. Today, we kick off the new year with an NFC North matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. Greg Joseph now ready to get this one started, and we are underway from Minneapolis. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. They'll start out on the ground with Jones. And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there. 2nd down. The Vikings here hosting Green Bay in the season opener. And they've got one of those quirks in the schedule that is going to work in their favor. They play all 3 of their division home games in the first 5 weeks of the year. After Green Bay today, they'll host Detroit in week 3 and then Chicago in week 5. On play action, it's Rodgers. He's letting this one go for Fuller. That's caught at the 25. And he will work his way out of bounds here at the 25-yard line. It's a big play there for Green Bay. 44 yards. Rodgers now on first down. Open man left side. It's the tight end, Tunyon. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a second and about a foot. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Still a few inches short of a first down as they come up now on second down. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. And he'll go down here at the 12-yard line. From down at the 12, it's 1st and 10. Now a play fake. Rodgers. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football as they force the turnover on the opening drive. Not something you see very often from a quarterback of his caliber, an opening drive interception.
Oh, there's no doubt in my mind that even he's surprised at how that one played out. But we know this guy. It's not going to stop him from continuing to fire as this game goes along. Probably give a little nod of respect across the field for that one and let him know he'll be back the very next series.
And good yardage as he gets this one up to about the 23. A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field of the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance.
6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
Another top 5 season in rushing for Cook last year's 3rd straight over 1,100 yards and his 3rd straight ending with a Pro Bowl selection. This season can see a couple more milestones for him. He will cross 5,000 yards very early and could climb to 3rd on the Vikings' all-time list of rushing leaders.
They run it again with Cook. And some space here. There he goes, right side. Touchdown, Vikings. Dalvin Cook, his first rushing touchdown of the year. And the Vikings are on the board here first in the season opener. Charles, they had 6 DBs out there. They were thinking pass. They surprised him with a long run.
I wonder if they saw that and just checked to it. Maybe had an audible and said, you know something, against 6 defensive backs, let's run the football. Let's get our big guys downfield and match up with the littler guys and see if we can create some space. And not only did they create space, they created a path all the way to the end zone.
And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls at work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover the play did on the last one. I don't think anyone thought we'd see a run facing second and that long, and that element of surprise, I think, helped make that play so successful. Nice effort on that carry, and it took what seemed like second and impossible, now has him within throwing range of a first down.
He's got the hook up with Dobbs. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. First catch of the new season for him, and he picks up the first. Well, starting drive number 2 off on the right foot. Completion for the first down. Drive 1 is that had to be pretty frustrating because they moved the football. They just didn't get any points out of it.
But warm-up QB, too. Let's bring in the backup. I mean, my goodness, you take them downfield and you don't score points. You know I'm being totally facetious here, right? I'm just kidding. Nice first drive. Rarely do teams score on every single drive in a game, but they like what they did there. They just hope they can pay it off this time with some points.
A good pickup there, a 22. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 41. They'll try the right side with Jones. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. The last run got 6. Now 2nd and 4. They fake the give. Now Rodgers. That is caught. It's the tight end, Tunyon. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. 23 yards the pickup there.
And this has been a nice answer to the touchdown drive against them a few minutes ago because they've come out and reestablished the tempo. A nice throw there, and they're putting together a very strong drive as a response.
On play action. Now Rodgers. Touchdown, Packers. Robert Tunyon. A 12-yard touchdown grab. And the Packers are an extra point away from drawing level. Crosby connects on the extra point, and we are tied at 7. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away. Kene Nwagu now out of his end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped at the 23. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And, Charles, nothing like squaring off with a division opponent, a division rival in Week 1. Do you like that they are matching up this early, or would you prefer a game like this be a few weeks down the road?
I actually like the early matchup for a few reasons, Brandon. First of all, it allows you to see that the entire offseason and know, hey, right out of the gate, we're playing a division game. Second part is it spreads them out a little bit. If you just have them all bunched up at the end of the year, that's not as much fun watching teams try to survive that gauntlet when you do have injuries down the stretch. And last but not least, let's face it, we're TV people. What a great game to sell right out of the gate.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. 99 yards rushing for him in this first half as he is looking in mid-season form here in the opener.
Brandon, what were they thinking on defense there? They looked like they were playing for the pass. That was 3rd and short. Yeah, it was an easy pickup because they handed it to him. That was way too easy.
Just looked like absolute confusion defensively. Not sure why they were in that set.
Yeah, I'd say you ought to have a few men in the box there.
He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
It's a tough one right there. He ran right into the teeth of the blitz as the linebacker was freed up in order to stuff that one for a loss. I think quarterbacks got to see that. Got to find a way to audible into something a little more advantageous.
They go play action. Cousins. That's complete to Justin Jefferson. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Good yardage after the catch as that play good for 30 and a first.
Well, he reminded us that he was a 1,000-yard receiver a year ago as he starts off Week 1 picking up right where he left off. He told us at the end of the preseason he was primed for a big year. He just gave us excellent evidence of his belief.
And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11. To throw, Cousins. This one brought in by Jefferson. And they'll work this down inside the 30. So it's 3rd and 6, and this will be the 8th play of the drive. Now Cousins. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Quay Walker. That is one that he will remember. His first career sack in his first career game in the National Football League. And that one's not going to get there. Not enough juice. An ambitious effort, but it's well short. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, This one winds up no good.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. The last time out, they had to march almost the full length of the field for their touchdown. So here, much easier, Charles, with this better starting field position.
I love your sarcasm, but I love even more your observation because, look, what they did last time out, now with a shorter field, they should have a lot of confidence that they're going to put more points up on the board.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Now it's Rodgers. This is caught. Touchdown, Packers. Romeo Doubs with his first career touchdown in his first career game. And the Packers have moved out in front. Crosby with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. Nwangu now from his end zone. Now a hit and a loose football. So a teammate picking him up there, that was nearly disaster.
And the way that you coach these things, you want to make sure you have eyes towards the return guy because you want to make sure that the catch is secured. A lot of teams do that. They have at least one guy. Okay, you're responsible for making sure he secures the catch. He's not always the one that makes the recovery, but he can always sound out the alarm. Hey, ball's on the ground. We've got to get it back.
Credit the defense there to Quay Walker, getting behind the line of scrimmage before they could rip off any sort of a gain. On second down, it's Cook again. And a short gain there as he'll get it up only to about the 24. After getting stuffed on first down, not much better there. 2-yard gain. And not much on that run, Charles.
No, that's exactly the way to execute a run blitz there. They guessed correctly that they would move the ball on the ground, honed in on it, and stopped them. Mark that down for a win in the defense's column.
No gain on the play there, and it'll bring up 4th down. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on to punt for the first time this afternoon. Here's Watson. And past the 40 before he's out of bounds. An excellent return that time, 26 yards. And it'll be Packer football here, 1st down and 10. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. He's got a man, complete. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Now this offense in mid-season form here in the opener. It's 1st and 10. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
That's not the first time they've gone his way on this drive, and they were obviously keyed into him because they were there to help break that pass up.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Rodgers now to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. And the Vikings are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. They'll indeed try to run it out as they start on the ground. And this will leave them a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
This guy's well on his way now to a big game on the ground. It's another good run there. Puts him over the century mark in yardage, and we're still in the second quarter.
The last run got 9. That leaves him with 2nd and a yard. And I think that one might have been intercepted, but he will be ruled out of bounds. So this will go only as incomplete. And you see the clock almost empty, so this is likely the last play in the second quarter. This time they stay on the ground. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Yikes. Terrible kick headed straight for the sidelines. Yeah, not a great one there. Out of bounds in the air. And the offense is going to be set up already in enemy territory inside the 45. So we've reached halftime here on opening weekend as we send you down to Orlando where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports halftime report. Coach. We'll see if week 1 fatigue becomes any kind of a factor as we are back underway in the second half. Nwangu now from his end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 27. He'll start by handing it off to Dalvin Cook. And forget that 100-yard rushing game, at least for the moment, as he'll lose yardage here and fall back under the century mark for the game.
Well, that was one of the few times they've been able to contain him thus far. He's over 100 yards for the game, but he lost a bit off his total on that carry.
Now on 2nd and 13. Cousins setting up the screen for Cook. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down. Now Cook, he's got it off the draw. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Off the play fake, Cousins. And the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. It'll be a loss of 5 there as the safety blitz winds up paying off.
How about that? One of the so-called little guys putting the pressure on. That was the strong safety. When I was in college, we often called that a lightning blitz.
Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Airing it out deep for Smith. Oh, that's into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Fabian Moreau. Tough one there. First drive of the 3rd quarter, throw an interception, and now a chance that they could be in even a bigger hole if they can convert this into points.
Yeah, but how good do you feel if you're that defensive coordinator right now? Because you just know that the head coach looked at him and said, turn him loose, big man. And he'd be able to take a few extra chances playing with this type of a lead, and boy, it paid off.
On play action, Rodgers. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. That was close to a big play, and just a little bit too far that he was led. He caught it, but couldn't stay in bounds, Charles.
Yeah, I'm not very good at these sort of things, but I have to believe the farther you are downfield, the less your margin for error in throwing the ball, correct?
Yep.
Yeah, so they gave it a good effort there. Really tried.
And Rodgers is going to go down. He's sacked. They'll go for it. It's Rodgers. Escaping the pressure right. A hit as he throws, and this is going to be incomplete. Boy, a real head-scratcher there. And the Vikings, they have the football now in excellent field position. So nursing a slim lead, and that is the opposite of protecting that slim lead.
All I can think here is that head coach, he knows more about what's going on with his team than we do. He must know something's up. Either he has trouble with his punter, right? He's worried about his defense. There's an explanation in there that we're going to ask for after the game, because in this situation, I wouldn't have done that in normal circumstances, but maybe he thought my best opportunity is with my offense.
Yeah, interesting. Back in their own territory. Now we'll see what transpires. 2nd and 10, third quarter of the season opener. Play action now. Cousins. Looking for Thielen, but it's intercepted. Picked off by Blesson Austin. And he will take this across midfield and down to the 48-yard line. Second straight drive now here, Charles, that have ended with an interception.
And I just wonder, because I don't think it's going to rattle him necessarily, but I also wonder if it's going to unnerve him a little bit. Does it lead to another one, or does he find a way to pull it together and become sharp again?
So after the INT, it's Rodgers. A fight for it, and this is caught. What a catch. So now following the big play, they've got a 1st and goal all the way down at the 10. Running right, Jones. And he will maneuver his way down to about the 7. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Now Rodgers. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
And when you've thrown as many interceptions as he has in this one, you definitely start getting a little hesitant to throw the ball out wide because that's prime pick 6 territory. That time, he made sure the only guy who was going to catch it was sitting in the 3rd row.
When you think about it, that's a pretty important second-half field goal, Charles. That now stretches this to 2 possessions and really kind of ratchets up the pressure on that opposing sideline.
It certainly does, because that interception and adding a field goal to it, that puts them in firm control of this game right now. They're about one more big stop from putting this thing absolutely out of reach.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use in that. And one play, 75 yards in zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? It doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn up on the whiteboard. Big-time play, big-time result.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Their lead down to a field goal now as they start with a 1st and 10. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. On 2nd and 9, Rodgers. Throw right side, hauled in by Dobbs.
And he's out of bounds, able to take this one up to the 35.
That catch puts him over 70 yards receiving now as he's got a first down.
Dobbs made to day 3 of the draft, and Green Bay loves the dimension he brings to their group of receivers, and that's speed. The head coach really wanted someone who could take the top off of a defense in the draft, and they got him in Romeo Dobbs out of Nevada. You can easily see him getting steadily more and more targets as the weeks go on.
Here's Fuller with a catch. He's got room at the 30. Touchdown, Packers. Will Fuller, 65 yards. And the Packers are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this third quarter.
Extra point try now for Crosby. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Well, partner, you know, coaches always say that every play is designed to score a touchdown. Sometimes that's not really true, but last drive, that was the case. One play to get into the end zone, and now they'll try to duplicate that success here.
And it's rare for those moments to happen. Incredible when they do. And you saw the celebration. Pure, unbridled joy after that one.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. Play fake. Cousins. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by Eric Stokes. Well, time, I mean, certainly not on their side offensively. They had to take some chances, but that interception will further hinder their already slim chance at victory.
Yeah, and you're talking about time not on their side, but it certainly is on the defense's side, and they understood that. They knew they had to press it a little bit, and they planned accordingly, and what a benefit for...
And intercepted, maybe the turning point they need. And he's able to take this one back to the 36-yard line. 2-score game here in the 4th, and that pick, it kind of keeps the door ajar, doesn't it?
It does, and you wonder about their strategy because with a 2-score lead, you would think maybe you're just sitting on and trying to drain some clock. It's almost like they felt like, hey, we've got a good cushion. We can keep pressing it. It ended up costing them.
And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere.
It was Jaron Reed who got him down. They've called his number a lot this afternoon. You wonder how much tread is left on those tires.
We certainly do, but I always think back to one of my favorite coaches in the NFL, and he used to have a meeting with his running backs every year in the offseason and say, look, as many times as you're going to carry the ball, you should be able to carry it one more time, so make sure you get in shape.
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Cousins. Packer pressure, and down he goes. Devontae Wyatt. That is one that he will remember. His first career sack in his first career game in the National Football League. Cousins with work to do after the sack as he brings his guys up on a 3rd and long. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And this play going to be stopped in its tracks at the 32, and obviously well short of the first down. A little extra pressure with this one for Greg Joseph. It'll be a 49-yard attempt from the left hash. The kick by Joseph is good, and this is back down to a 7-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. Their lead back down to one score after the field goal a moment ago, so they'll be looking to string together a few first downs, likely on the ground as they begin 1st and 10. And a dangerous throw there as that's knocked down and incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Now Rodgers.
He's going to launch this deep for Watson.
And that's caught inside the 30. And it's a Packers touchdown.
Christian Watson.
His first NFL reception goes for 6.
And the Packers are closing in on a winning start to the year as they extend their 4th quarter lead.
Extra point up and good by Crosby. And the lead now up to 14. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
And not willing to risk another fumble. He'll sit on this one. It's a touchback. The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
And last time able to get 3. It's not what they wanted. They wanted 6, but they got at least something. They mustered something out of the drive.
They'll take it. I like the way you've described it. Not ideal, but they'll take it. Anything to put some points on the board. But this time on offense, they don't even want to see the field goal kicker trot on the field. They want that ball in the end zone.
Yeah, they'll be going for 6. So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. Cousins to throw it. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
Give it big credit for his coverage right there, because when he saw the route break deep, he stayed in position to prevent a completion while avoiding any risk of a flag.
The offense on 3rd down, they've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This is 3rd down and 12.
Then his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Jair Alexander. And into the end zone. It's a pick 6 and a Packer touchdown.
So a 4th quarter pick 6 here, and that one might put this game out of reach, CD.
I certainly agree with that, partner. And I know one thing, though. That team that just got the pick 6, they're going to keep playing until this one's over. Better be careful. They're looking to get another one.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6. And now the kick is away.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And this return will net positive as he gets past the 25 and up to the 27-yard line. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And whatever promise they showed in the preseason has not translated into week 1, because they have not been particularly competitive here at home, no less. So these fans just kind of beside themselves right now.
And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49.
210 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41.
Now, that was an excellent run. And when you see that happen, that's when you're seeing guys doing their job and then some people doing a little bit more. Offensive linemen and tight ends, they're expected to block. But the wide receivers, all they want to do is catch passes. So when they block on a big-time running play and create extra space, you've got to hit the jackpot there.
And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line.
4 yards the pickup, 1st down.
And Brandon, you know that expression? He just does what he does. It sounds trite, doesn't it? But in this case, it's perfectly apt. This is one of the better runners in the NFL. And all he does is just find avenues, find ways to pick up key first downs and big runs.
Adrian Amos up to make the tackle. Second down, Cousins. And my goodness, another interception.
Picked off by Eric Stokes. And the Packers force the turnover. And they'll take over at the 10.
Now, I'm starting to wonder, Charles, if 5 interceptions, is that the last that we've seen of him?
Well, I think that a lot of people hope that's the last they've seen of him in this game, probably including himself. If this were baseball, the manager would have been in the mound already and asked for the ball, and he'd be in there getting a shower. But in football, you might have to go stand on the sideline and watch the rest of it and see if your backup can do any better.
That one caught downfield by Watson. And he's going to get this down inside the 40 before he's finally ridden out of bounds.
It's a big play there for Green Bay.
And even 50 yards. Altogether, a pretty shaky start to the year for this defense as they defend another 1st and 10.
And this is caught inside the 5. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers.
Christian Watson
making quite a splash with his 2nd touchdown in his NFL debut.
And the Packers are looking good here in the season opener as they're able to extend their lead.
Crosby connects on the extra point, and that'll increase their lead to 28. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away.
Nwangu now from his end zone. And tackled at the 21-yard line, so a net negative there of 4 yards.
The Minnesota offense about ready to get this next drive underway.
Where we stand right now in the 4th quarter, this one pretty much out of reach. And, Charles, I know they're going to be disappointed about several things with this ball game, but the self-inflicted wounds, they've had several turnovers. You would have to think that's going to be something they're going to discuss heavily in the film session in the coming days.
You're absolutely right about that, partner, because they're going to have to sit in that film room and watch every error that they made and figure out how to not do it in the future. And mentally, I think a lot of the guys are already starting to think about, okay, how do we put this behind us and get better for the next time out? This, they'll use as motivation for the rest of the time that they play to hopefully never be in this type of situation again.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Again, it's Cook. And he'll be tackled just past the 35 at the 36. It'll be a 5-yard pickup there. So from 2nd and 13, they're back to a more manageable 3rd and 8. One last shot now for Cousins. Eluding the pressure right. Open here, Adam Thielen. And he'll be out of bounds after getting this one across the 40.
Well, this was not just the opener of a brand new season, but this was a division game here in week 1. And to come through with a 1-0 start against a division